everyone! Welcome to the continuation of this special weekend, and we are focusing today on, or this weekend actually, on Robert Miles' piece, his instrumental, Children. And today I am listening to a cover of it by Synthony. Well, let me read what Synthony is all about. Synthony, not symphony, but Synthony, which is, what a great play on words. Synth, and that this piece, at least the original, was very much produced by synth sounds. Well, Synthony is a celebration of the last 30 years of electronic dance music, backed by the full might of a large-scale full orchestra, directed by the precision of the conductor, spine-tingling vocalists, and world-class DJs, accompanied by dynamic lighting and visual show. So this feels like, a real celebration, embracing of this whole electronic dance music and synth world, but now we're taking it back to non-synth instruments. This is going to be interesting. Oh, and I am watching the video of this performance. I understand now why, because lighting and visuals are an important part of it. I started to chuckle at myself as this started, and I felt my classical self saying, let me see the orchestra and the conductor. I want less of the audience. I want less of the lights, because you see little bits of it. Of course, it's not supposed to be that. And so I had to reset myself. I kind of chuckled and reset myself. Okay, this is a different experience. Let's go for this experience. Look at the conductor dancing. I'm laughing at myself because, well, just in the previous, in the original piece that I listened to yesterday, I think I was talking about the cross-pollination between classical and pop and popular music styles, and now I'm seeing such a mashup of, and I don't mean that in a pejorative sense, but such a meeting of different traditions, different styles. There's the orchestra. There's this sort of, even the way they're presented here, they're set up on stage in a sort of serious manner. It's not like the two cellos cover of, oh, what was that piece? Which piece was it? Remind me, Vlad.
AC/DC, Nirvana.
AC/DC, yes, and Nirvana's AC/DC. It's not like that sort of taking your classical instrument and embracing all that Nirvana brought to the music and enhancing it in a new way. It's not that, it's different. I mean, they're here, they're sitting quite seriously. They're set up with lights and stands. They're reading the music. The conductor is here with her baton. She's up on the podium. Everything is... But at the same time, you watch them as they're getting into the music and they're not behaving like you would expect them to in that setting, at least how I would expect them to. The conductor is dancing as she conducts. And some of the instrumental performers also, the orchestral members, are also... It just doesn't... Everything is in the mix. And then the lights and the smoke and the audience out there and the music itself. It's such a I almost feel like saying a clash of two or maybe even three different worlds, because it's not just the musical styles, it's the dance as well. And also maybe even four, because we have the historical traditions of musical performance and then we have the modern influences coming in. It's such a, to my eyes, to me, it's kind of weird. And I'm enjoying seeing it happen here. I will say that for orchestral musicians, they can do this stuff in their sleep, really. It's not technically difficult music to perform. So they can relax and get into the whole feel of it. What fun. That was something very different. And it made me laugh at myself. I found it amusing in an enjoyable way. And well, now I have to ask myself, which one do I prefer? the original or the Synthony cover? And I don't know if I can answer that question, because let's talk about the two experiences I've had. I listened to the original with just the audio. However, I understand and I can feel that this is not meant to be experienced just with the audio. And so in a way, even though this Synthony version is, we could say, digging a bit into my part of the world as far as classical musical instrumentation goes and all of that, I feel like I almost got a little more of the authentic, if we could say authentic, experience, simply because I was observing the whole lights, movement, everything that goes along with music like that. So I don't know which, if I were just judging based on the audio alone, which one would I prefer? But I will say that unless it were just being used as ambient music, which it can't really, because it does have that dance beat to it, so it doesn't quite work as just background meditative ambient musical influence. I would get bored if I had to listen to just the audio multiple times. I would. It's not made for that kind of listening, and it doesn't fit that kind of listening. So I feel like the video for my second listen was really important. Otherwise, I would have been a bit bored. And it also expanded my experience of the piece, enhanced my experience of the piece. And I'm okay, actually, with the synth sounds of the original. Because, well, this is electronic music. It is the electronic dance music tradition, we could say. Kind of a new modern tradition, but tradition nonetheless. And it belongs there. So I don't mind it having that sound. It was interesting to hear it with the orchestra. As I'm thinking, I might say I prefer the synth sound.
Really?
Vlad is shocked. But it has to do with how the style feels. With the orchestral version, it's very rich and lush and luscious sounding. But I feel like this kind of music isn't really made for that kind of sound. So it almost feels like a waffle with too much syrup on it. If that makes sense. I'm not going to make up my mind right here, but that's kind of where I'm tending at the moment. And I am curious to know what you think. Which version do you prefer? And why? And I would love to see and read your comments below. So please chime in if you wish and let me know your opinion on the original versus Synthony. Although I love this idea of Synthony, you know, and this celebration of dance music in a, we could say, a bit more formal setting. The idea of a whole full-scale orchestra and a conductor and, you know, all of this that goes along with it. It's kind of cool, and I love that. So I certainly don't intend to diminish or bash that at all. I think it's a fabulous way to explore music and celebrate a musical tradition, and new ideas might come out of it too. Well, that was my experience with children, and a lot of fun it was this weekend. I'll see you all soon.